Most people believe that success with money comes from making smart decisions. They think it's about choosing the right moment, the right investment, the right strategy. But that belief creates a silent problem. It makes people impatient. Because when you believe success depends on intelligence, you start looking for shortcuts. You expect fast results. You expect progress to be visible. And when it isn't, you assume something is wrong. But most people don't fail because they make bad decisions. They fail because they can't wait. They change direction too soon. They abandon good plans. They confuse movement with progress. And in a world obsessed with speed, waiting feels uncomfortable. It feels like falling behind. But time doesn't reward urgency. It doesn't reward constant action. Time rewards consistency. It rewards those who stay calm when results are slow, those who understand that real progress is quiet, and that the most powerful advantage anyone can have is patience.
Most people think that building wealth is about doing more effort, more decisions, more action. But money doesn't work that way. In reality, the biggest financial results often come from doing less and doing it for longer. The truth is, time plays a bigger role in wealth than talent ever will. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need perfect timing. You don't even need to make many great decisions. What you need is the ability to stay consistent when nothing seems to be happening, to keep going when results are invisible, to trust a process that works slowly, and to avoid the mistakes that ruin progress before it has time to grow. This is one of the most overlooked ideas in personal finance, and it's also one of the most powerful. In this video, we're going to explore why time matters more than intelligence, how patience quietly builds wealth, and why the people who win in the long run are rarely the ones moving the fastest. Most people believe that progress comes from doing more effort, more action, more decisions. But when it comes to money, that mindset often works against you. Because the biggest gains rarely come from bold moves. They come from staying in the game long enough for time to do its work. The problem is that time feels slow. You invest effort today and see nothing tomorrow. You stay consistent, but nothing seems to change. And that's where most people lose patience. They start to question the process. They look for faster results. They compare themselves to others who seem ahead. And slowly, without realizing it, they abandon the very thing that would have worked. Time doesn't reward intensity. It rewards consistency. Small decisions, repeated quietly, create results that look impressive only in hindsight. But in the moment, they feel boring, uneventful, almost pointless. That's why so few people stay committed. They underestimate how powerful time can be and overestimate how much control they actually have. The truth is, wealth is rarely the result of one brilliant decision. It's the result of hundreds of ordinary ones, made calmly over a long period of time. And the longer you allow time to work in your favor, the less intelligence you actually need. At some point, almost everyone reaches the same moment. Not a moment of failure, but a moment of doubt. It usually happens quietly. Results take longer than expected. Progress feels invisible. And the question starts to appear: is this even working? That's when most people begin to drift. They don't stop because the plan is bad. They stop because waiting feels uncomfortable. They start looking for something faster, something more exciting, something that promises results now. And that's where patience slowly disappears. Impatience doesn't look reckless. It feels reasonable. It feels like taking control, like being proactive, like refusing to waste time. But in reality, impatience is one of the most expensive mistakes a person can make, because it pushes people to abandon good decisions before they have time to work. They switch strategies too soon. They change direction too often. They restart instead of continuing. And every restart resets progress. Time, however, doesn't work that way. It rewards those who stay consistent, those who accept slow progress, those who understand that meaningful results often look unimpressive at first. The problem is that modern life trains us to expect speed, instant results, instant feedback, instant success. But wealth is built on a completely different timeline. It grows quietly, almost invisibly, through repetition, discipline, and restraint. And the people who succeed are rarely the ones who move the fastest. They're the ones who stay long enough for time to do what it does best. Over time, something changes in the way people who succeed start to think. They stop reacting to everything around them. They stop feeling pressured to act immediately. They stop confusing movement with progress. And that shift changes everything. Because clarity doesn't come from speed, it comes from distance. When you give yourself time, you begin to notice patterns. You realize that most problems are temporary, that most mistakes are not fatal, and that most opportunities return again and again. This is where patience becomes a real advantage, not because it feels good, but because it protects you from your own impulses. It protects you from fear, from panic, from the urge to act just to feel in control. Most people believe successful investors are bold, that they move fast, that they always know what to do. But in reality, the most successful ones do something very different. They wait. They observe. They accept uncertainty instead of fighting it. They understand that not every moment requires a decision. Because time does something no strategy can do. It smooths mistakes. It reduces risk. It allows small, consistent actions to grow into something meaningful. And the longer you stay consistent, the less pressure you feel to be perfect. Progress becomes calmer, more stable, more predictable. That's why wealth rarely looks impressive in the beginning. It grows quietly, almost invisibly. But for those who understand how time really works, that slow growth becomes unstoppable. Not because they were smarter, not because they moved faster, but because they stayed long enough for time to do what it does best. At some point, everything you've heard so far begins to connect. You realize that success with money isn't about finding the perfect moment. It's about building a relationship with time. A relationship where you don't rush, where you don't panic, where you don't constantly second-guess yourself. This is where most people struggle. They want certainty. They want guarantees. They want to know exactly when things will work. But money doesn't offer certainty. What it offers instead is probability. And the people who understand this stop trying to control outcomes. They focus on controlling their behavior. They build habits that are boring but effective. They avoid decisions driven by fear or excitement. They accept that progress often feels slow while it's happening. Because real financial growth doesn't feel dramatic. It feels quiet, uneventful, almost invisible. And that's why so many people miss it. They're looking for signals, for confirmation, for proof that they're on the right path. But the truth is, the most important progress happens when nothing seems to be happening at all. When you're simply staying consistent, staying patient, staying disciplined. That's how time begins to work in your favor. Not all at once, not overnight, but steadily. And once you understand that, you stop chasing results and start building something that lasts. As you've seen, wealth is rarely built through speed. It's built through patience,
through consistency, through the ability to stay calm when nothing seems to be happening. Most people spend their lives searching for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect decision. But the truth is simpler. Progress comes from staying in the game, from avoiding emotional mistakes, from letting time do the work that effort alone cannot. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop chasing results. You stop reacting to noise. You stop comparing your path to others. And instead, you begin to build something quietly, something stable, something that lasts. If this way of thinking resonates with you, you'll find more ideas like this throughout the channel. Here, we explore how money really works, not through hype or shortcuts, but through patience, behavior, and long-term thinking. So if you want to keep learning how to build wealth calmly, with clarity and intention, subscribe to the channel and continue this journey with us. Because in the end, wealth isn't about moving fast. It's about staying long enough for time to work in your favor.